Hello, hello. Welcome to the Awful and Awesome Entertainment Wrap, episode 318. I'm Abbas.
And I'm Nainika.
And once again, while the gods are away, the inmates will play. As usual, as is our tradition, Rajshri and Abhinandan are away. So Nainika and me are back. Once again, thank you for all the lovely emails that you sent us last week. Not last week, last to last week. Or was it last week?
It was last week,
I
Abbas.
forget.
Your memory is evading you.
All this Abbas and Nainika specific emails that you sent. You sent so many that this week we have none. We exhausted all of
People
them.
were like, you know what, we've done our level of commitment that we could show to these guys. Now we need a break, just like Delhi was on break for G20. It was a
Oh
nightmare
yeah,
getting here.
I need
so,
to.
yeah.
So before we started rolling, my delivery guy was food delivery guy was on his way, and I was concerned whether he'll disturb our recording. And I'm like, unlike Delhi, people are still delivering food in Bombay.
Yeah, it won't be
So,
happening for the next few days. But that's okay. I think they.
but the show must go on, as
As it
said
must,
the
yes, absolutely.
great Raj Kapoor. So today we have a nice little bunch of things to talk about, a good little mixture of things. We have two films, one, three films,
Yes.
and we have a TV show that is pretty popular. And we'll talk about the much hyped Jawan trailer starring Shah Rukh Khan.
The secret
the
thing,
film,
the best thing about this episode is Abbas and I have not watched concurrent things. So whatever he's watched,
yeah,
I've not. Whatever I watched, he's not. So we're going to be going
yes,
into this a little blind, and we'll figure out how we still talk about it nicely
yes.
despite not knowing. So it's just like shooting around in the dark.
Yeah, we learn from our seniors. So
Absolutely.
learning from Abhinandan and Rajshri,
We're
we
getting the
try to
bad
keep it
habits are
tradition.
trickling down to us now. I'm a little concerned.
So the movies that we're going to talk about will be the Netflix original film called Friday Night Plan, which stars Babil Khan. We'll talk about Asteroid City, which we mentioned last week but
Yes.
forgot to discuss.
Yeah,
Actually, the
the
Wes Anderson
episode
film.
ran so long that we never really got
Yeah,
around to discussing
yeah.
it. So.
And we'll be talking about the new indie film starring Kalki and Deepthi Naval called Goldfish, which Nainika was able to catch in the theaters, but I
I
wasn't.
like how Abbas did not take Kalki's last name because just before the recording started, he was like, how do you pronounce it? And because it's a French name and none of us are sure. So we were
Yeah.
just like,
So from what I understand, it's Kalki Kekla, but if that's wrong, then someone in the comments can please correct us. Or Kalki, if you're listening to this, we'd love to know. I know you've probably clarified this 1,000 times, but we'd love to know how you pronounce your last name.
I'm
And
sure you
the
listen to
TV show
this,
that we're going to
Kalki, so
talk
you
about
know.
is Only Murders in the Building, which stars Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. So, Nanika, I caught Friday Night Plan the day it premiered on Netflix, and my verdict on this is Friday Night Plan is your typical OTT frivolous film, which is fun while it lasts, but half an hour after you switch it off, you forget everything about it. It's very volatile. It's very forgettable. At the same time, it's enjoyable while it lasts. So the big thing about this was, of course, Babil Khan, because this is his second on-screen outing, if I'm not wrong, after Kala.
Yes.
Did you watch Kala?
I did watch Kala. I actually discussed it here. I did
Okay.
not like it as much, which people didn't like. So
Neither did I. So at least we're on the same page about that. Did you like Babil in it?
did I? He had a very minor role. I
Hmm.
anyway thought that the movie was so exaggerated. I think it was more made for stage as opposed to made as a film. So I
Mhm.
think his role was obviously accordingly exaggerated. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure if he gets better opportunities, he'll get to shine and perform better because I'm sure he learned something from his father.
Yeah. So he's pretty much very much the front and center lead in this film. I
Right.
think he's in almost every scene, and I liked him in this. So Friday Night Plan, I think it's a very typical teen comedy. It reminded me of some of the early 2000s ka jo teen comedies that used to happen. Basically, Babil plays the responsible older brother to his younger brother, who wants to be cool and who wants to hang out with the cool kids. And Babil happens to be the setup is that Babil is a part of the football team of his school, but he's always on the bench. But this one day, he gets picked and he scores the winning goal. So overnight, he's the
Star.
darling of the entire
Yeah.
school, and because of which the cool kids invite him over to the party. Now,
Nice.
the thing about this film is, so it's Excel Entertainment. So it's Farhan Akhtar and Ritesh Sidwani. So all the kids are super rich.
So
It's a
Farhan Akhtar
very
and Ritesh Sidhwani have been on a roll. They're financing careers of every single Bollywood child. They're the new age Karan Johar, which is good,
sort
I
of, yeah.
guess.
So it's a very, like, if you watch this film, there'll be a lot of, at least for me as a 35-year-old whose school days are well behind
Hmm.
me. This film was pretty much of a culture shock for me,
Right,
where I
because
was
you were
like,
just
is
like,
this
this was
what
happening in
today's
high school
yeah,
when
yeah.
I was studying and preparing for medical entrance. This is the life I missed out on.
Yeah, so all the kids have cars, they have very fancy
Right.
cars. There's one really funny joke in the film which I laughed out loud on.
Abbas, was
And
this show the same flavor as? I'm sorry for interrupting, but is it the same flavor as the one show that we discussed with like a really long and mouthy title, which was also, I think, financed
yes,
by
yes,
Excel
the
Entertainment?
extraordinary something something
Yeah,
life.
that guy who was
Uh,
not getting laid off of dating apps, basically, and
correct.
crying
So
about
yes,
it.
same, not as witty, but pretty much the same vibe.
Oh, right. You thought that was witty.
So yeah, so this is even like a couple of
Notches
steps below
below.
that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a fun film. I mean, what I liked about it is that even though, like I said, there's a culture shock of what the kids are doing in school and partying and all of that, it's not like a euphoria type situation where some
Right.
everybody's snorting cocaine and everybody's depressed and destitute. It's like kids being kids. So there are the cool kids, there are the nerds and all of that. And Babil plays this responsible
Sweet little
son.
boy. Yeah.
And there is a reveal towards the end of the film that, okay, before we move on, I'd like to tell you about the ongoing NL Sena project we have for you, which is Monu Manesar's video profile. Independent filmmakers closely followed Monu and his associates from late 2021 to early 2022 to get a fly on the wall account of his operations. The film is already out for our subscribers. You can contribute to our Sena project and help the makers and News Laundry cover the costs accrued in producing this film. So you'll find the link in the description. With that, let's move on to our second thing on the list, which is Goldfish, the aforementioned Goldfish that Nainika caught in the theaters. Nainika, tell us what Goldfish is about.
It's one of those, it's very, how do I say it? It's a very film festival circuit kind of a movie
Yeah,
where it's like a long arc, but nothing really is supposed to happen. It's not built around a plot. It's built more
right.
around like a slice of life that is happening. In that, it felt very realistic, and it's how as a child you're dealing with not just like growing old and the problems of adulthood, but you're also dealing with the fact that your parents are now not as
Yeah.
active, not as sharp, and not as and they depend on you a little bit, and how disconcerting that can feel.
Mhm.
So obviously, it's both. I mean, obviously they chose great actors for this, and even the
Right.
supporting cast is quite nice because since they live in a community of a lot of like other old people, the mother lives, Deepthi Naval lives in a house where all her neighbors are also of her age and they've been there for a really long time. It's one of those London neighborhoods. So obviously it's a community where everybody knows each other, supports each other, and takes care of each other in the phases of illness, etc. That way it felt like I was a little bored in the first half. I will say there are points in the movie which are obviously very they pull at your heart. They're bittersweet. You relate to them because you've seen a similar father-child dynamic, father mother and daughter dynamic around
Right.
you. So you relate to that aspect of it, but you can't. It doesn't forgive it entirely. Like it's not a very entertaining watch, or it's not the kind of story that you actually take back with you.
What are you
If
saying? A story about dementia, your mother's dementia is not entertaining?
wow, now that you say it like that, thanks. I guess I'm an asshole. But no, like, I mean, think about Piku, right? It's also very
Yeah.
clearly a movie centered around a father who is not well, who requires and relies on his daughter for a lot of support. His
I mean,
daughter
I
is
wouldn't really put constipation in the same ballpark as
category as
dementia, but
dementia for sure,
sure,
for sure.
I
But
get what you're saying.
but I'm just saying that way, like you still show a parent-child dynamic that
Yeah.
is a little fraught, where the parent obviously is relying on the child. It's
Hmm.
emotionally delicate, but it's also like interesting at points. This one
Hmm.
was a little too strained, a little too. But anyway, basically, what Kalki's character is trying to do is also get her mother to apologize for how, no, at least acknowledge, if not apologize, how she treated her in the past. And it
Right.
reveals around like the title is Goldfish because she was
Hmm.
like, I asked my mother for a
Forgetful.
pet,
Yeah, yeah.
but I never got a dog. And she just got me a
Ah.
goldfish. And spoiler alert, whatever, 15-second skip. And her mother kills the goldfish, like flushes it
Oh
down in
no.
front of her to make her feel bad. And she's like, I didn't even want that goldfish. I don't know why you did that to make me feel bad. So it's clearly, it indicates that the relationship is very, well, very, it's not great. So,
Stained.
yeah, clearly very
Also,
strained.
goldfish have
Very 2 second
memory,
memory.
15-second memory.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
something
I
like
guess
that.
that too.
So that I think also plays into that.
Tell me
So
something. Was
yes.
how many people were at this show
Oh
that you
my
went to see?
God. So I came to the theater like 10 minutes late already.
Yeah.
And I was the only person in the theater, and then later like a few more people joined in, but that was it. Like at some point after the intermission, I got up and I sat in the best executive seat and folded my legs and watched the rest of the movie. There was nobody in the hall, which I expected actually.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
also feel like it's going to go out of theaters really quickly. Like it's not going to be there for long. People
So
do
in
not go to
Bombay,
crowds.
it's only playing in one theater near me,
Okay.
and the literally the screen that they have given it is like the जब बच्चों की party होती है, so you can hire like a little 50 seater and
Yeah,
let the kids be.
yeah, right.
That's the screen that they have given it to play at. And yesterday I tried to catch it, and at least there were 11 seats claimed. I don't know if those 11 people showed up. So
Yeah,
at
no.
least there were more people here. But yeah, the reason I asked that is because like right from the trailers and everything, it seems like a very serious and very
It
uh, you
seemed
know
like serious to the point where it was just, how do I mean, I hate to be like that, but yeah, there wasn't a lot happening. Like French New Age cinema, not a lot happening. It's all grey, it's all sad.
But yeah, those were two discussions for this episode. But
On
before we
video.
wrap up, I'd like to tell you about the News Laundry app update. So we have pushed an update on our Android and iOS apps. This update includes bug fixes and a few other enhancements. Please update the app or reinstall the app for friction-free experience. Click on the links in the description to download the News Laundry app. It's version number 0.9.83. So yeah, there you go. Much smoother experience now for your app. And with that, we're going to have to say goodbye to our video viewers who are on YouTube right now. Itna paise mein itna ich milega for the rest of the episode, for the full-fledged episode where we get into the deep dives of things. You can subscribe to News Laundry and head on to their website and download the aforementioned app to listen to the full episode. So yeah, this is where Nainika and I say goodbye. Please subscribe and listen to the full episode on newslaundry.com right now. Bye bye.
Journalism at News Laundry is powered by the public, because when the public pays, the public is served. Visit newslaundry.com/subscription and pick a payment plan of your choice. Pay to keep news free and independent. Your future, and indeed the future of democracy, depends on it.